All right, let's look at what happens when we explore the C blues scale a little bit. It goes C, E flat, F, F sharp, G, B, flat, and C. Now it goes nicely over a C minor chord, C or C minor 7. It'll actually go well with pretty much any chord that's in this key of C minor, which is probably a topic for a bigger conversation. Let's say the 4 minor is an F minor, the 4 minor of C. The G minor. So that the original scale doesn't have a D in it, but you can add a D. It's pretty... You can even add an A flat. And you can make the other notes work too. You should really experiment with them. Make some accidents. Listen to what they sound like. And choose for yourself whether or not to play them. But as a good rule of thumb, you can definitely play anything in that scale. D is pretty safe, and it can go over all these chords that are in a C minor scale. So we'll do a 1 4 5. So we got this C minor is our 1, F minor is our 2 4, and G minor is our 5. Now you'll notice notes like an E flat are in the key of C minor, so they definitely go well. It's also in the chord of an F minor 7, but it's not in a G minor. A G minor has a D, and that E flat is right next to it. So you can kind of you can put it there, but it has a little bit of a clash. You might move to the D or move to the F, which are both a little more comfortable in the G minor. It depends what you want to do. Ultimately, it's up to you, but use your ear, and you can stay safe, but don't be afraid to explore a little bit. Now notice, when I went from that C minor to the F minor, as I transitioned, I really played this E flat pretty hard, and you can feel there's a difference in how this E flat feels with the C minor chord and how it feels with the F minor. Experiment with how different notes feel while you're transitioning from one chord to another. So if you're in this key of, you're in the chord of the C minor, and you're going to go to the F minor. A C, for example, is in the first chord. It's the 1, so it's really safe. A C is also the 5 in an F chord, which is also safe. So if you, let's say you just kind of stick right around and emphasize that C a lot while during the transition, you can feel how its relationship to the chord underneath it changes, but it still works the whole time. Now, does it work if we went to the 5? They all do, sort of. Some better than others, some for different moods than others. Let's say we pick the D. We're going to emphasize that D. D works, but it's only in the G minor chord, actually. So it's not in the C minor or F minor, but it still works, and it has a little bit of a cool tension, I think. You should go around and experiment with all the different notes, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. The ones that sound bad teach you something about what you want to do in the future. So let's pick an F. It kind of feels like you want to go somewhere from there. If you just stop there, maybe it's not done. Maybe it is. Maybe you can stop there and let that suspension be the feeling it gives, without any different resolution. So you might have some more obscure ones like say B flat. It's the 7 of a C minor chord. It's the 4 of an F minor chord. And then it's the flat 3 of the G minor chord. So you can play that. Now, notes like a B might give you a little bit of more tension than you're asking for. G chord, that B actually changes the whole thing. It's no longer a G minor. It's now a G major chord, which you can do. It actually sounds really good. With a C minor, an F minor, and then a G major. play that B natural on a C minor chord, though, you get this very James Bond villain kind of thing. Let's see, what else is there? The other ones might be much more obscure, is in the key of F minor. It's in the chord of F minor. It's not in G minor. You should explore with it, and then start, instead of staying on the same note, switch notes. So let's say we go. So talked yet about that F sharp. That's that dissonant tritone, the devil's interval. Although I heard that was a myth. If you try to play that as the melody. A strong tension that wants to go somewhere. Good thing is the note on either side of it will do. One thing, if you play the G with your pinky on the C, you can kind of get this other cool little thing going on where you play a G with your middle finger and a C with your pinky, and let your index finger roll down that F sharp and F. And get a index finger can go back and forth between this. note up top gives it kind of like it belongs there. Like it has a connectedness. This thing that C is common throughout the whole thing. It's what's underneath it that's changing. Notice the same sort of roll feels good with the C minor or the F. You can even play with the G. Now that D wants to be played a little bit more than that E flat. So now the rhythm there's all sorts of ways to switch up the rhythm, make it a little interesting. You can do it fast, you can go up and down, and you can skip. And there's one other thing. We've been doing C minor, F minor, and G minor as the 1, 4, and 5 in the key of C minor. Now, we're talking about what if you leave that C as your melody note? But are there any other chords we can do? And yeah, there's a bunch. But let's just do one different one, just to see. I'm going to play an A flat major chord, which is actually in the key of C minor. Which is also a little bit longer of a conversation. You might already know that. But an A flat chord also has a C in it. So I'm gonna, when I go to it, I'm gonna keep that C as the melody note. And it actually sounds really great. And we can actually, we'll be on our way back to C. And the way we're gonna do it is we're gonna play a C minor chord, an F minor chord, a G minor chord with that C, then a flat major chord. C is still the melody note. I don't want to confuse it too much, but just go with it. We're going to also play a B flat chord next. Still is the C as the melody note. It's a B flat major. Notice these notes are in our original scale. And then go back to C minor. It goes very smoothly. So prompting for just consideration. You could replace the 4/5 that we were doing, going from an F minor to a G minor and then back to the C minor. You can not even do that at all, and instead just do the A flat major, B flat major, back to the C minor. And actually, even though they're totally different chords, there's a lot of similarity going on there. And if you dig into it, you can see that an F minor chord actually has the A flat and C that an A flat major chord has. And a G minor chord has a B and a D, which a B flat major chord has. So there's actually a lot of similarity between F minor, G minor, and A flat major, B flat major. Let's do that one more time a little differently. If I put the same note on top, you can hear how similar it is. So we might keep going through this, where play a 1/4/5 for a while, and then play the A flat, B flat. The way we number that is we count up from C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's a flat 6, and a flat 7 chord. So we're going from a 1 minor to a flat 6 to a flat 7 to a 1. So we're going to do a 1/4/5 for a while. Switch to a flat 6, flat 7 instead. And if this part is confusing, don't worry about it. Just think about the first part. We're just doing the 1/4/5. Don't let this change how you think about it. But overall, get a nice rhythm with your left hand, with something simple that you don't have to think about, so you can concentrate on what's going on with your right hand. Experiment with different notes. Go up the scale in different rhythms. And the space between different notes is different. So sometimes I go the first couple slow and then a little quicker. Maybe come back down a little bit. You don't have to come all the way back down. Sometimes land on a funky note. Switch up the rhythm a little bit. Sometimes with the left hand, instead of necessarily, rocking it through, you can hit the chord and have it go silent, actually, while the right hand does something else. So there's a lot of options, and ultimately it comes down to how you feel about it. But get familiar with the way the notes sound, the way you transition from one chord to another while holding the melody note constant. Maybe moving a note. Think about what notes are in the given chord you're currently playing, but ultimately we're in the key of C minor. So yeah, I hope that's informative and get you on your way a little bit. Happy playing.